This is the second part of a brain tumor, and just remember that this is not enough for your theory exam. Basically, for theory exam, you have to write much more, but this is the must know things for your competitive exam, or even for theory or practical. These things you must know it, but for theory, obviously, we have to write many more things. Okay, the first tumor, like I have crazy way to remember all these three tumors. It is just three tumors, but always confusing. Okay, the first one is pilocytic astrocytoma. Coming to pilocytic astrocytoma, just remember the word pylo, it actually means fibers. The normal meaning is also fibers. So this is the tumor in which you can see fibers, that is Rosenthal fibers. It is nothing but intracytoplasmic pink fibers, pink structures you can see in microscopy. So it is pilocytic. Pylo stands for fibers. Then one more next important thing to remember is this is the benign tumor and the rest all are malignant. It is since I told you this is found in kids. Like last time I told you, any tumor which is below 10 torium it tends to be in children. So after that, cerebellar cystic mass. Okay, this you can remember by C cube. Like in question, it will be like 3-year-old kid with cystic mass in cerebellar region, something like that. So CCC, it indicates without any doubt it is pilocytic astrocytoma. Most common primary benign tumor in children, sorry, some error there, with good prognosis. So now how do I remember this? Just remember a kid. I remember like kid with rose. So God gets impressed and he's be like good prognosis because kid is having rose and many more things. So it's one way to remember it. Then you can see here in first image the cystic mass I have highlighted on radiography, and in second this one image, same cystic mass. I have made a smile because it indicates good prognosis. Okay, this is a nest tumor which is nothing but medulloblastoma. Okay, there is a lot to know about its molecular classification which I have not included in this slide. It is okay. Coming to this, it is present in location is cerebellum, and it is a type of primary neuroectodermal tumor. Drop metastasis is common. Then Homerite rosettes, or which is a pseudorosette, is seen in this. Treatment is radiosensitive. Like it is a radiosensitive tumor, so targeted radiotherapy is best way for treating this. Okay, now how to remember this? Coming, the important things are drop metastasis. It is nothing but the metastasis occur through CSF from cerebellar region to spinal cord. The tumor can spread. That is the simplest way I can say it. Then coming to Homerite rosettes, I have in the end included a slide in which there are rosette, pseudo rosette, and how to remember it. For now, you remember anything which is pseudo rosette will be having some material present in the center. So here it is a fibrillary structure or neurophil which is present, and it is Homerite rosettes. Then how just remember one line, drop me home. Drop stands for drop metastasis, me stands for medulloblastoma, and home stands for Homerite rosettes. And one more thing, I told you this is the malignant. So M for medulloblastoma, M for malignancy. Just done. See, this is the Homerite rosettes. It is not that clear. See, this is how typically neuroectodermal tumors look. And in second image again I have made a sad or angry face because this is the malignant and has very bad worst prognosis. Okay, the last tumor is ependymoma. This is like the most easiest one. Everything is there in its name itself. We know that ventricles is lined by ependymal cell. So first it is a tumor which is present arises from ependymal cells. Location fourth ventricle. So I told you ventricle is lined by ependymal cells, so it is fourth ventricle. If any fluid increases, we obviously know that it is hydrocephalus. I mean not any fluid, cerebrospinal fluid. Because of the tumor there is increase in this fluid, it will restrict the flow of CSF, so there will be hydrocephalus. Then when I consider here, it is perivascular pseudorosette. I told you, when I say pseudorosette, there is something present in the center. Here it is given in its name only, perivascular, which indicates there are vessels present. See, this is even seen in adults in spinal cord. Again, easy way to remember, spinal cord ependymal cells, fluid flows through it, and it is associated with neurofibromatosis too. I have explained in my first video. Neurofibromatosis too is, remember, like with the mnemonic, don't mess with Merlin. Yeah. So in that, MES, once again revision: M for meningioma, E for ependymoma, and S for schwannoma. So this is associated with neurofibromatosis 2, which is located on chromosome 22. Okay, actually you can understand by name, but if you won't remember, okay, and I highlighted EPE. It is like perivascular. It is there in both the way. If you read, it means perivascular, and just you can remember it by one simple line: for waterproof pen, like fourth ventricle, water should indicate hydrocephalus, proof should indicate perivascular pseudorosette, and pen should indicate ependymoma, or else you can just remember by name. Okay, this is the tumor mass you can see, and this is in second image you can see perivascular pseudorosettes where the vessel is highlighted. Okay, coming to true rosettes and pseudorosettes. So first thing, true rosettes is present in retinoblastoma. It is known as Flexner Wintersteiner rosettes. Just remember that. When I consider pseudorosette, I told you there is some structure present in between. So therefore that structure is not the part of neoplasm. That is non-neoplastic element. So we give the names pseudo. But when you see the structure, it is like in true rosette there is nothing, empty center, but in pseudo rosette there is something pinkish material which is present in the center. I remember with the mnemonic, like when I say rosettes, mainly girls are interested about rose and boys they are not interested. So pseudo rosette is men, medulloblastoma, Ewing sarcoma, and neuroblastoma. In both, we studied medulloblastoma Homer, right? And in neuroblastoma, in both the center material, it is neurophil. Yeah, that one. That was a highlight. Okay, now coming to radiosensitive tumor, the one which can be treated with the radio targeted proton therapy. So it is remembered by mnemonic Wilms, like Wilms tumor, Ewing's sarcoma, medulloblastoma, lymphoma, and seminoma. Then, okay, this is the last side summary. Okay, first I just thought of including this. Most common metastasis to brain is from small cell lung cancer. Very, very important. First thing, how to differentiate metastasis and if the tumor is from the brain. See, if the tumor is originating from brain, it is normally single mass. Okay, so most of the time it is single mass. But if it is metastasis, you can see many patchy masses. In CT scan, you can see many calcifications. That is one way to remember it. And how to remember small cell lung cancer. Just remember, if anything happens in brain, like oxygen, carbon dioxide level, and all, if it is not balanced, then it directly affects your brain. So from lungs and brain, that is a relationship, and most of the center, respiratory center, everything is located in the brain. So you can remember it like that. That is how I remember. Then because like when you go through all the chapter, because each chapter is having different metastasis and it is always confusing at the end. Coming to just revision, pilocytic astrocytoma, Rosenthal fibers, good prognosis. Just remember, kids are having rose and also good prognosis. Medulloblastoma, drop metastasis, and Homer-right rosettes, drop me home. Ependymoma was perivascular pseudorosette and hydrocephalus. Now remember that even hydrocephalus is seen in medulloblastoma. There are many features which are seen in other tumors, but this is more specifically it is seen in this tumor, so only that I have included. That's it. Thank you.